What's going on, hikers? Dave here with Off Grid. I'm out on another day hike. This time I'm over in Santa Paula, which is a couple of towns over from where I live in Ventura. Started out as about 63 degrees, and over here we're getting close to 80. I think it was like 78 degrees, so it's going to be a little bit warm on the trail today. This is Santa Paula Canyon and the Punchbowls Trail. I think it's a little bit over 6 miles, maybe close to 6.5. It's a down and back, and we've got a waterfall at the end, so I can't wait to see that and check that out. So let's get the trail started. I'm definitely seeing a lot of people already on this trail. I think they started a little bit earlier in the day. It's closer to 12 o'clock now, so definitely a little bit warmer, but super popular trail, which is good and bad. Good because probably means that it is going to be there's going to be some pretty amazing sights up ahead, but bad in that there are a decent number of people on the trail. I think the elevation gains today are going to be close to 1,000 feet, but it's definitely not as crazy as like a straight shot up. It's going to be a little bit more gradual heading up there. Definitely not too bad in the shade so far. Like I said, I hope it doesn't really just like open up, because the sun is a little bit more intense when it is just hitting you on your back here, heading up on the first half of this out and back. You might see it up here. There's some fencing around here. I think the first section of this here ends up cutting through some private property. So whenever anything like that happens on a day hike, just make sure that you're respectful of the land and don't leave your garbage lying around. Not a cool move. Got some Jurassic Park looking ferns over here. Pretty trail so far. Definitely got the sweat rag rocking today. Super sweaty, and I'm a big sweater, so this hat's gonna get sweated out by the time the trail's done. Looks like maybe a fire burned down a portion of this trail here. It's really weird. I only see like one section of it burned so far. Some of the trees back here have a little bit of black soot on them. A really cool mix of vegetation so far. Different types of trees and ferns. If you ever come and do this trail also, the parking is just off the main road, and there's not a ton of parking, so we ended up having to park right off the main road and just start the trail. This is definitely the rainy season. We're in February now, so this is typically when we get a decent amount of rain throughout this area, but I mean, you can see a little bit in there, but you can still see the tops of the hills here are still mostly brown. So I was supposed to go out with my buddy this week on this hike, and not this one specifically. I think I was going to do one in the Angeles National Forest, but I got the girlfriend with me. So that's great company. Forgot to mention too, our starting altitude was somewhere around 1,100 feet, 1,122. And like I said, I think we're going up somewhere around 900 feet. So close to about 2,000 feet total in elevation for today. Well, we got some oil drilling going on in California? No, that's not true, right? That's crazy. I know they said that this trail, I think, I was looking it up on All Trails, I'll throw that up on the screen too for you guys to look at. I think they were saying that this trail was moderately trafficked, and I definitely think that is not the case. But we are here, to be fair, on Saturday. So on Saturdays and the weekends, maybe it's more heavily trafficked, and maybe during the work week, during the weekdays, it might be more moderately trafficked then, but definitely a ton of people out here. Dogs are allowed as well. It's supposed to be kept on a leash, but saw a couple off leash, I think, already so far. So I'm back out with my Osprey Talon 6, the hip pack, I think it's called, day pack. And today I've got it loaded up. Definitely got my standard liter of water. That might be a little bit like less than what I actually need today. But I brought some snacks today too. I think because it's a down and back, I might end up just hanging out a little bit when we get to the falls, because I'm sure that's going to be the huge picture stop. We'll rest there before turning back. Coming up on another stream here. It's pretty awesome. Definitely more of a rare sighting in Southern California to see this many streams. Looks like we got another stream crossing. So this is number 4. So if you're thinking about coming out here, definitely be aware, especially this time of year during the rainy season. Maybe during the summer this might dry up a lot more or totally, but right now we've got free flowing streams. I was actually debating dropping the bottom portion of the convertible pants just because of how hot it was today. But there's a decent amount of stuff here down on the trail. Not that I'm really worried about like poison ivy or anything like that, but there's just a decent amount of, it's not even really like bushcraft, there's a decent trail, but there's just, you know, bushes and other things that you kind of walk through, so I'm glad I left them on. Another thing I'd say is that the trail is not super easy to follow. There are a couple of points so far that we were at where it seemed like it might go in a couple of different directions, and we just went by another fork and just kind of chose a direction. So definitely download the offline map for this trail if you're coming on down and checking it out, because it's not super clear. And especially with how many people that I thought were on this trail and how heavily trafficked it's been so far, that it would be like super easy for us to just pick a direction. And maybe it kind of just loops around, but say we were just at a fork and just chose a direction. Just saw somebody else coming this way, so we're like, let's just follow them. So hopefully we'll keep on trail. And it's not like it doesn't seem like it's a legit trail here. Just wondering if there were any offshoots. It didn't seem like it on the map, but let's see where it leads us. Now, this trail is also, like I said, moderately trafficked, but it's also listed as moderate on All Trails. I would agree with it so far. If it wasn't for the heat, it would be a lot better. It's just a little bit warm today, a little bit too warm. Another problem that you run into with a bunch of people on the trail is the fact that some people like to use speakers blasting on the trail. Don't be that guy or that girl that uses a speaker and ruins everybody else's quiet time when we're out on the trail. You also don't need to bring trekking poles on this trail, but if you're coming off an injury or you want to take it a little bit easier, then I would recommend it. A little bit rocky terrain, and like I said, you have the stream crossing, so that would definitely help you out with the a little bit uneven terrain. It's definitely right about it getting hotter as you go along on this trail. A lot less tree coverage once you get closer to the halfway mark. So definitely bring a lot of water. Bring your sweat rag. I forgot my electrolytes today. I wanted to try that out too. I found a really good low carb and keto option for an electrolyte to use in my water, but I totally forgot it. Darn. I think it's really cool that the stream is right along pretty much the majority of this entire path. So that part's pretty good. We just ended up going through yet another stream crossing. I lost count at this point. I think we're at like 5 or so right now. If you come around this time during the day, there are some dark sides of the moon that you hit, and it is a lot nicer. I'd say at least 10 degrees cooler. It's a nice breeze on some days that comes through here. So it's definitely an amazing break from the heat. So we're definitely off grid today. Don't have any cell service on this day hike as you kind of cut back into the Santa Paula canyon lands, I guess you call them. I don't know if it's mountains, canyon lands, but the view is pretty awesome as we're still making our way up. As we're getting to the halfway point here, it's definitely more steep. So kind of whoops your butt at the halfway mark, and then you just kind of go all downhill from there. Looks like they also might have a couple of campgrounds in here. See a fire pit over yonder. I wouldn't recommend. And there's one over here too, but it's like right off the major trail here, so you're not going to get a whole ton of privacy. We did see a couple of people backpacking out. Maybe just probably more of like an overnighter. And these campsites are actually above the stream, so they're actually a decent ways away from the stream, but getting closer to the falls now. But I wouldn't recommend camping there. The other thing I want to note is that all trails listed, I think, around 6 or 6.5 miles, and the halfway mark is right around 3.5, maybe a little bit over. So we're definitely looking at least 7 miles on the trail today. So all trails got that one wrong too. Just a heads up. And a quick update about those campsites. They are pretty close to the end of the trail. You just have to go down a somewhat steep slope to get to the water source. So you don't really have to worry. About a water source unless it's maybe summertime around here. So I think I was only able to find the 2 campsites unless you're doing more stealth camping. But there's I guess the major stream that runs throughout the entire length of this trail is like starting right up here. So, or at least running through there. I wasn't able to find the end of it. Another pro tip for you guys: while peanut butter tastes great, is high in fat and protein, which means it provides you with a lot of energy, it also dries your mouth out an insane amount. So if a water source or the water that you're carrying or cameling with, you need to reserve a little bit, then it's not particularly the greatest option to bring for a snack on the trail. I'm not sure if this is it or not. Definitely a lot cooler down in here. So we can go a little bit further, but I'm not seeing the waterfall. But I guess you just have to keep following the stream upstream until you find the water you're looking for. Well, I think that might be it. I wasn't able to really find any falls. I'm going to go a little bit further up here, but I'm not too hopeful to find anything else. It doesn't seem like the trail goes anywhere from here. So I was expecting to see these crazy picturesque waterfalls like they have on all trails online, but I wasn't able to find it. But definitely a lot cooler here towards the end. The sun's not really hitting me over here, so it's a nice break here at the halfway point. I think I'm gonna cut the video here because it's an out and back, and there's no point in showing you what you already saw coming up. So thanks so much, you guys, for listening and for watching and for coming along on this day hike. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing, and you will get notified of all the videos that I've got coming out, as well as have access to that discussion and community tab where I'm posting different information on like questions, polls, things like that, as well as my giveaways. So you want to be notified of when those things are coming out. Thanks so much for watching this week, guys. And remember, if you're planning on heading off grid, make sure you do your research, be safe, and have a good adventure. I'll see you all in the next one.